Hi everyone, welcome to our Equitana virtual event. I'm Paula Jeffery, I'm from Performance Saddle Fits and I'm a Master Saddlefitter. I'm here to talk to you today about the pressure problem with saddle fitting and how it relates to the biomechanics of your horse. So biomechanics is just purely how your horse can move its joints and muscles effectively to do the job that you want it to do. So I want you to have a little think. Horses are mammals just like us, and they have a similar muscle to bone structure. And most people don't realize how pressure on muscle affects the ability for a joint to move. And they don't really relate it back to how our horses are actually able to do their job. So what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to put your fingers on top of your bicep and just start to put a little bit of pressure on. What I want you to start to relate to is how pressure on your horse's back or its scapula or any other part of it is affecting its ability to use that muscle. So, fingers on, thumb underneath, and I want you to just have a little feel, and you'll feel it's a bit soft at the moment. Now I want you to give you your best weightlifter impersonation. You're going to flex your fist, and then you're going to squeeze up and relax it down, squeeze up and relax it down. Now you'll notice that your muscle changes shape. So at the moment it's kind of long and skinny, and when you flex, it becomes short and tight. You can feel it go bigger and rounder. Okay, so now I want you to put some pressure on it. So I really want you to squeeze on it. Now don't go sticking your fingernails in, that's going to hurt you. So I want you to really squeeze down and have your thumb underneath and put some pressure on. Imagine it's the same as your horse taking your 60, 70, 80 kilos on board its back muscles. So squeezing down. Now already you'll start to notice things. I can already start to feel a lack of circulation in my fingers. My fingers are starting to turn a funny little colour and I'm starting to get a tingling sensation in them. Now I want you to do the same exercise. Make a fist, squeeze up and relax down. Squeeze up, really put pressure on it, don't give up. I want you to keep putting pressure on this. What are you starting to notice? Don't stop, just keep going. What are you starting to notice? If you're anything like me, my arm is starting to ache already, and we've been approximately 20 seconds doing this. Now, what else happens if I was to tell you that you had to continue doing this for the next 45 minutes, an hour? How long do we normally ride our horses for? If I got you to continue to do that, continue to put that much pressure on for the next 45 minutes to an hour, what is going to happen? You're going to start to have reduced blood supply to the muscle. When we have reduced blood supply, we have reduced oxygen. We have lactic acid building up, so we start to get pain and bruising. We get fatigue of the muscle, so the longer you keep doing this, the harder it is for you to do the rep. When they are continually getting pressure to keep doing something they physically can't do, they start to engage other muscle groups to do the job. So for instance, with a horse, if they're unable to put their head down and lift their back and round their back in order to carry your weight, that usually enables them to push off from their hindquarters and go forward. What they might do is have their back sunk down and their head slightly lifted, and they start to pull forward more with their shoulder muscles and their pectorals. So horses start to use a compensatory way of going to achieve the outcome that you keep telling them to do, but they can't physically do it the way you want them to. So we're going to drill down into this a little bit more so you can understand it. Where does the pressure come from in the first place? Well, I want you to think about what our saddle's job does. Our saddle is there to distribute our weight over the greatest surface area of the horse's back as possible. When we maximize the surface area for us to actually be able to spread our weight, our riders, so our 60, 70, 80 kilos, if we can maximize the surface area to carry your weight, we reduce the amount of pressure. So you probably understand pressure is pounds per square inch. Every inch of your horse's back is taking a certain amount of your weight. Now, if we can distribute it evenly, your 60, 70, 80, 90 kilos over that surface area, then every little piece is having a lower individual pressure over every part of her muscle group or her bones or her joints. The problem happens when we have uneven pressure. So think back to that increased pressure on your muscle here. If we don't have the saddle structure, the saddle design, the saddle balance right for each horse's individual body conformation, she gets increased areas of pressure on different muscle groups or different areas of muscle. When that happens, that muscle starts to get fatigued. She can't use her body effectively, and she starts to use compensatory ways of moving.